Adrian Newey's out. Jonathan Wheatley, fired. Max Verstappen winning. Max Verstappen being disqualified. Oh my God, there's so much to discuss on This Week in F1, Matthew.
He wasn't fired. He left for personal reasons. He stepped down, and he's not going to Aston Martin, Brian. That hasn't been confirmed. Stop being an irresponsible journalist. It's irresponsible.
It's irresponsible.
Shut up. Shut your mouth. Clickbait. Clickbait. That's clickbait. It's just using common sense. Like, it's like when Oscar Piastri, right? Mm-hmm. When he was like, I'm not going to Alpine. Like, he tweeted that out. Everyone's like, what the fuck? And everyone was like, he's going to McLaren. He's replacing Daniel Ricciardo. And everyone's like, they're not confirmed. Obviously, McLaren is not going to confirm that, but you just used your fucking common sense. We're just using common sense.
Autosport, part of motorsport.com. Ever fucking heard of it? Reported it. They've been the first. They took the beach. They're right. We all know what's happening. There's chaos in the Formula One world. What's up, Vankas?
Yeah. Anyway,
we're obviously talking about everything that's going on at Audi and Aston Martin. The reporting was coming out. Obviously, Wheatley was talking to Aston Martin. He clearly wanted to leave. There's reports that
that is true.
People are go to Audi. They go to Ferrari. Oh, who would want to live in Switzerland? Who would want to live in Italy? What is wrong with you people? Anyway, whatever. He wasn't happy in Switzerland. Reports are saying he wants to be back with his family in England, and he also wants to go to Aston Martin for whatever stupid reason. But the news is out. He's no longer at Audi. Audi has come out, and it's interesting because within this PR battle of this whole thing, Aston Martin is just looking completely like they've caught with their pants down here. The whole thing has been totally fumbled because, first off, the first announcement, Adrian Newey is no longer going to be team principal. That's a media shit show, right? Right. Then they don't announce who it's going to be. Audi comes in being like, guess what? Like, I'm not breaking up with you. You're not breaking up with me. I'm breaking up with you. Right. He's no longer with us. Right. And then they're asking Aston Martin, and they're giving the most bizarre responses. This is what Lawrence Stroll had to say in response to this whole situation here. He says, quote, "We do things differently here. And while we don't currently adopt the traditional team principal role that you see elsewhere, it is by design. As the most successful engineer in the history of the sport, Adrian's primary focus is on the strategic and technical leadership where he excels. He is supported by a highly skilled senior leadership team to deliver on all aspects of the business, both at the campus and trackside. We are regularly approached by senior executives of other teams who wish to join Aston Martin, Aramco, but in keeping with our policy, we do not comment on rumor or speculation."
The whole it's almost like a restaurant where you go to like an avant-garde restaurant that has like a tasting menu and they say, we do things differently here at the Aston Martin restaurant. It only works if the food's good. If the food sucks, you can't hit them with we do things differently here. It's a shit show. And let's not forget that they were like, and people are buying it, right? People are buying this. People are saying, guys, it was always an interim position. It's like, no, it wasn't. They're doing the George Lucas thing where he goes back and he's like changing the edit, or Steven Spielberg in the E.T. where they're trying to change the edit. But everyone who was watching the movie originally was like, he didn't say I'm an interim team principal. He said he was going to be at all the races. He's like, well, I'm going to all the races. Might as well be team principal. He didn't show up to China. Like, there were things that didn't line up. And when a guy is interim in sports, they always say this guy's interim. So when they replace him, it feels like it's part of a plan. It's like, we said he was interim. He's gone now. So it looks like you know what you're doing. When you just put a guy in and then take him out, it looks like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. And you can say till you're blue in the face, we meant to do this all along. Well, guess what? If that even is true, which I doubt.
It doesn't look that way.
And so you fucked that up. Regardless.
Either way, it's a comms failure. Either way.
Huge comms failure. It's a mess over there. And it's exactly process. You only care about process when the product is good.
Exactly.
Like, if you have, if you care about process if a product is bad in a way of how can we avoid this happening again? Like, after a fire, they go in and they say, hey, how did this start? You know, there's an investigation.
So we don't do it like this.
So it never happens again. But for them to be bragging about this is the way we do things at Aston Martin, we do it differently, when you guys are having one of the most embarrassing starts to any Formula One season in the history of the fucking sport, you have no right to talk about process, okay? This isn't inside the actor's studio with fucking James Lipton, okay? You guys are, this is the Razzie Awards, not the Oscars, okay? That's what you're at. You're winning Razzies, you're not winning Oscars.
Brian, I was once collaborating with somebody on a writing thing.
Yeah.
And his mission, this person's mission in life was to create the most original work that had ever existed.
Yeah.
And he was coming up with these ideas. And his defense of the idea was, no one has ever done this before.
Yeah.
No one has ever done this before. And at a certain point, I snapped and I was like, no one's ever done it before because it's fucking stupid. Has it ever occurred to you that no one's ever done it before because it's fucking stupid? Like, at least cliches are cliches, at least for a reason, because they're good, because they work. But we do things differently. Maybe you're the only one doing it because it's fucking dumb. You know, originality is more often than not a bad thing. To be original and good is hard. You can only think different if you're fucking Apple and you're fucking killing it. You know, it's just so to be smug and in dead last is crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Many people have it. Let's talk about this for a second. I'm curious why Wheatley is batting his eyelashes at Aston Martin. Mm-hmm. Because there are rumors, right, that Wheatley, you know, obviously doesn't like living in Switzerland because, you know, he's got family in England. I understand that. I've done some research on Switzerland. It's got a near perfect democracy. His standard of living is crazy high. Free healthcare.
Like it's
utopia.
It's like the highest quality of life is like the
quality of life
there
is
in the
crazy.
whole world.
But by the way, I get it. Like, I wouldn't want to live in Switzerland. Like, no, I don't know anybody there. Anyway, so, but he doesn't want to live in Switzerland. But here's the thing. If we're just thinking in terms of career, so he's like, I don't really gel well with Mattia. There's a bit of a power struggle there. Audi's struggling. I want to go and chase stability and a better career projection at Aston fucking Martin. Like, you don't like. I think Mattia Binotto has a bit of an ego, dude. Mm-hmm. You don't think that fucking Lawrence Stroll and Adrian Newey have fucking egos? Like, I think this is a frying pan fire situation. I think I don't really understand if I'm Jonathan Wheatley, why this is a better situation. This is, to me, a grass is greener on the other side. I don't see why this is an upgrade if you're Wheatley. I don't know why he thinks, like, Audi seems like it's like trending in the right direction. Like, they got into Q3 in their first fucking race. Yeah, the power unit has reliability issues, but they're gonna work that out. Yeah, Audi is one of the biggest. They're owned by whoever, Volkswagen. They're gonna figure it out. Yeah. I mean, they're a factory team. That's where I'd want to be. And he's not the Lance Stroll vanity project.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and he's been working towards a team principal role for over a decade. I mean, this has been the goal, right? Like, he worked his way up at Red Bull with the eyes on being in a leadership position, and now he's in this seemingly really great leadership position, and unclear if, like, he was just wooed by them, wooed by the proposition of being back with Adrian Newey or whatever, or the glory of it or something. Maybe he doesn't like the bureaucracy of dealing with a huge manufacturer like Audi, dealing with a Mattia Binotto. Unclear exactly. You know, more will come out in the wash. But no, I mean, we said this on our reaction episode. But like, it seems like an absolutely ridiculous and boneheaded move by him. It seemed like he was in a very good position over at Audi. And what's interesting from the Audi POV is like now he's gone. Both these teams have had just a revolving door of team principals in the last, however many years. I mean, you need hands and toes in order to fingers and toes in order to count how many team principals have been a part of both of these teams the last few years. And Wheatley seemed like he represented some stability. A guy who had been with the program for a very long time, knew what it take to actually take a team from midfield to the top of this, top of the podium. And now all of a sudden he's out. And now Mattia Binotto is going to be team principal again. I mean,
Well, I want to get to Mattia in a second. I think you raised a really good point, which is Audi was extremely corporate. They had a board of directors. They're more like Mercedes. They're very corporate. There's probably this Kafka-esque bureaucracy, right? And you have Mattia Binotto, who's the CEO. There's a board, big Volkswagen board. It's like maybe it's a little bit more like you've seen Ford versus Ferrari, where Matt Damon's like, it takes 20 million years. This piece of paper that sort of thing. That red tape, probably really annoying to him. And when you come from Red Bull, which used to be like a very lean sort of Dietrich, just kind of was. You had this sort of philosopher king who was very benevolent and sort of let them do what they wanted. I think probably what he's hoping is that Lawrence Stroll is a lot like a Dietrich and is going to just let them cook. And maybe Adrian Newey is telling him that. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yes.
It wouldn't be crazy if Adrian Newey was like, dude, I fucking hate doing this. Please come and do this. Yeah. It's not my bag but you're great at this. And I promise you that I'll stay in the technical swimming lanes. You'll run the team.
Yeah.
Just let me build the car. I wouldn't be shocked. Because obviously Newey would have to sign off on this, and they worked at Red Bull together for years. There must be a rapport there. So maybe Newey, ironically, might have recruited his fucking replacement. But I mean, Lawrence Stroll's ultimately in charge, and I'm just going to list the people, right?
Yeah.
So I got it up here. Otmar Safnauer was the first one, 2018 to 2022. So Otmar got 4 years. I mean, it's ChatGPT. I was trying to be quick. It's ChatGPT. These might not be fucking perfect, so don't cut my head off. Mike Crack, 2022 to 2025. Andy Cowell, literally no time. January 2025 to November 2025. Then Adrian Newey replaced Cowell. And then now, so that's 4. So
and
now we're doing.
Guess what? And now who knows what's going to happen because there's going to be gardening leave. So guess what? Who's filling the spot? If he's stepping down, guess what? Wheatley cannot jump immediately there. There's going to be some type of period. Who knows if he's even going to be able to be on at the team this year? It might be 2027 that he actually comes in. So you still have the rest of the season, or at least half of it. Who knows how long his gardening leave will be to for someone to take that role. Apparently there are reports that Mike Crack doesn't like facing the press. That a part of this was that no one really wants to be the front person over there. And but
who wants to be the face of this thing right now?
Of course, but he didn't want to be it maybe beforehand. He just doesn't. He doesn't really like it. He doesn't really vibe with it. You know who should be out there in front every day? What really the situation should be over there in terms of responsibility? It should be fucking Lawrence Stroll, and it should be Lawrence Stroll in a Zach Brown type of position. Because look at the situation over at McLaren. Zach Brown takes on a lot of the team principal roles in terms of talking to the press, in terms of being the front, being the face, right? And Stella gets to kind of do his nerdy, motorsport.
He gets to run the team
kind of shit. He gets to run the team, but not deal with the front side of it. And listen, this whole thing is Lawrence's project, so let it be Lawrence, front and center, taking grenades. That's what it should be.
Yeah, but here's the thing you're forgetting, Brian. He's a billionaire. He doesn't want to sit on the fucking polyester couch talking to the great unwashed, the proletariat, guys like you and me, just being So like smash or pass, this or that, street circuits or whatever the fuck, like,
yeah.
So like he doesn't want to do that.
Right.
He does. He sees himself as too, like Zach Brown's job is beneath him, right? Talking to Zach Brown went on the fucking our podcast.
But Zach Brown came up. Zach Brown, wasn't born with a silver spoon. Zach Brown like hustled his way into the position that he's in. Like Zach Brown, came up in the trenches. Like
but Zach Brown's a marketing guy. That's kind of like his. It's in his lane. He deals with brands. He deals with he public relations. That's kind of his thing. And by the way, Zach Brown's a millionaire. He's not a billionaire.
Right.
There are levels to this shit.
Well, but it also asks the question, and I think this is the question around Aston Martin that a lot of people are having is like, where is the potential if they figure out the bad engine? How good is the car outside of it? I think that they maybe have a higher estimation of what that looks like. I'm sure Newey's got a pretty high estimation of what that looks like. I mean, a few months ago, he was saying they've got the 5th best chassis, but also they've made their own gearbox. And I think a lot of the early reporting was that it was the engine and the gearbox not fucking with each other. It was the first time that Aston's made a gearbox. So that's a huge component and an extremely complicated component. So like there's multiple levels of like before aero even matters. And also in this game, in this new era of Formula One, aero doesn't matter as much. This isn't an aero dominant regulation.
It's why Newey. It was why Newey was largely defanged in the 2014 was it to 2021 engine reg set. They were kind of nowhere because they didn't have a good engine until Honda
the Renault engine until
finally
Honda came in there, and
that took a couple of years. That's the other thing is these guys have no patience, right? They just rip the Band-Aid every 30 seconds and they can't stick to a plan. They're gonna I mean, I think probably if they stick with it, if they go through this pain, Honda has proven that they can figure this out.
Right.
That you just have to gut it out. And I think Newey, historically, he's delivered some stinkers, right? Mm-hmm. Not recently, but he has. But also, conversely, sometimes his cars take a minute. Like in the Vettel years, like they didn't win in the Braun, like they didn't win right out of the box with the Braun. They came online a little bit. I think in 2009 they started to catch Braun later, and they almost kind of got. But it was only until 2010, 2011, 12, 13 that they dominated. So like his cars are often like they come out really aggressive. They're unreliable. They take a minute. So
I know, but they're starting on such a back foot that it's
right.
I mean, this is the craziest back foot that you can ever start on. Like everyone's, in Rat Race. Remember Rat Race?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm a millennial. Of course, I remember Matt. It's a race.
For all of you Gen Zers out there, for our Gen Z listeners, Rat Race is an absolutely incredible movie about like you give. Guess what? A Lawrence Stroll type figure wants to play a game where he tells.
Honestly, dude. Squid Game totally stole from. Now I don't think about it. Squid Game just stole this premise.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
But in Rat Race, Mr. Bean plays this guy. He plays Mr. Bean, but he has a different name in the thing, and he suffers from narcolepsy. And I think like in the very beginning of the race, like he's running and he's like, I'm weaning, and then all of a sudden it's like he just falls asleep, and then everyone's just like, and they run past him. And, and he's just asleep for like the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Right, he's in dead last.
What's happening.
But everybody else are just like stepping on rakes.
Right.
Cutting each other's throats. And it's kind of because they've forgotten about him that he could kind of just mosey along.
Yes.
And the flip side is everybody's betting on it. The rich are betting on this thing. So that's where they ripped off the Squid. That's where Squid Game is completely stolen from Rat Race. Yeah. But, yeah.
Anyway, but Aston Martin right now, they're Mr. Bean. They're fucking asleep, and everyone else is like, and you know what? And the people ahead of them are not idiots. They're very smart, capable people. Okay,
Right.
They're not fucking dumbasses. And as smart and brilliant as Adrian
There's no
Newey is,
Cuba Gooding Jr. or John Lovitz or whoever
Yeah.
the fuck else was in that movie.
as much as Adrian Newey's a genius. It's this whole thing. It's like, how genius are you? Can you be such a genius that you overcome this hurdle? I think the answer is absolutely no. Now let's move on to Audi.
You want to say, but talk a second about
Yeah,
Mattia Binotto.
let's talk about So now Mattia Binotto is back, baby, right where he should be. Team principal.
Let's get this charismatic, swaggering, confident man back in front of the cameras. Let's do it.
Let's get the guy who just inspires confidence. He's so inspiring. That's what you want from a leader. Mattia Binotto. We saw how well that worked out at Ferrari. Now, so he's team principal. Unclear how long that will be. I think they are like kind of implying that he's stepping in Wheatley's absence. But knowing Binotto, I feel like he just wants the role. Like, I just think that like he likes being in the leadership role. So like, who knows what will happen there? And I think when I look at that, I'm like, wow, Audi's so much worse off, because as much as Wheatley didn't like being in Switzerland, maybe he and Binotto were fighting. To me, he's a great person to have in that leadership position. I'd like this is to me a pretty significant loss for Audi.
I mean, if you got to remember how bad Sauber was at just pit stops.
Yeah.
When he got there, and their pit stops like turn around immediately. Fucking Nico Hülkenberg got a podium last year. Like, he really turned that team around. They're a much sharper organization, and you got to remember how bad Ferrari was under. By the way, they're no great shakes now, but they were really, they single-handedly kind of shattered Leclerc's 2022 driver's push. They completely fucked up on strategy multiple times. Mm-hmm. The fucking nut there was one time there was even when he won, he fucking lost. I remember one time he had the like something came loose on the throttle, and he was scared that he was going to die. There was the finger wagging moment. Remember the thing? He's wagging his finger. There was, and they didn't bring any upgrades. There was a time in 2022 where like Ferrari was seriously like in the hunt with Max Verstappen, and they just completely. So that was under Mattia Binotto's leadership. That they were not a tightly run organization. Like they proved that they could build a car, but they couldn't run it. So I'm like, he was in the perfect position where he's like CEO behind the scenes working on the engine. He's been an he was an engine. This is going to sound weird. He was an engine engineer for like 20 fucking years. Yeah. Like, that's his bag. Right. So and now when it's kind of like, it was kind of like if you read about how Dick Cheney became VP. Like George Bush asked him, and he was like, "No, I don't want it, but I will run your vetting committee." So, and then he ran GW's vetting committee, and like nobody was good enough. Right. Like everybody had problems, and then he was like, "No, this person can't be it. That person can't be it. That person." And then they were like, Then it was like, "Fine, I guess I'll do it." Like, he ruled everybody. So then it became this sort of situation where he had to do it. He felt called to do it, right? It's like it's given that a little bit. Fine, I guess I'll be team principal again. Yeah, I guess it's got to be me.
Whole fucking time. He's wanted it the whole time. Let's be clear. And then and he's he's making headlines in other ways too, because now he's in this role, and he was quoted. They were talking about the Ferrari, bringing upgrades and bringing packages. They asked Binotto if Ferrari would potentially be a model to follow for Audi, looking forward at this, championship. Would you want to maybe see what the other cars are doing? Would you maybe follow Ferrari? To which Binotto said, "Why should I take Ferrari as an example? They haven't won anything since 2008.
That is like just a self-own.
Dude, you were there for most of that time. In significant positions.
Yeah. You were the head of it for like 3 or 4 years.
Crazy.
You were in charge. You were running their engine program.
He's on a fucking ego trip. He's on an ego trip. This is like full ego trip vibes.
Also, Ferrari is doing a good job. They be grabbing the Ferrari performance with both hands right now.
Right. Of course. Here's a question, Matt. If if they don't want Mattia Binotto to be in the team principal role, who should take over as team principal of the Audi Formula One team?
There's only one answer, but there's a big caveat. It's obviously Gunther Steiner. As long as he's got to get a carve out. He's already got a position.
That's right.
But I think Gunther Steiner would be a great front-facing role. He'd be dealing with the media. I think Audi would get 1 million new fans. He fucking speaks German.
Yeah.
He did a lot with a little at Haas.
Uh-huh.
And right now, Audi's so boring. They're fucking boring. They got
also he and Binotto are buds.
He and Binotto have rapport.
Yeah, we'll have to get Binotto on the pod to prove us wrong.
That's
but
right.
Know what? We'll see what happens there. I mean, who even is out there? I mean, there's Christian Horner, but he wants an ownership stake. He's making this play for Alpine. There's Otmar, there's Seidel, there's Ollie Oakes.
Well, Seidel already got booted from there.
Yeah.
So they're not ringing that bell twice. And then who are like ex-executives? I mean, Otmar,
or do you
there
promote
was
someone?
Butkowski.
You probably
promote someone from within.
Yeah.
Will Buxton thinks Audi have a perfect replacement. This guy, Alan McNish, that name's been bounced around. Mm-hmm. He's a 24-hour of Le Mans winner. He was an F1 driver for Toyota. He's worked in team management role. Has a long-standing relationship with the Audi brand. Gernot Dollner, CEO of Audi AG and chairman of the board of Audi Motorsport. Our focus remains unchanged. We are concentrating all our efforts on building a team competing at the highest level that will challenge for a world championship in Formula One by 2030. We'll continuously develop our organizational structures to achieve shared goals in a sustainable manner. Yeah.
That's right. Well, it's a mess. We'll see what happens over there. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all kind of irrelevant towards the larger championship. But hey, at least while we might have a boring season of George Russell domination, we got some chaos happening behind the scenes over here. So this will be an ongoing space. I'm also eager to talk to Gunter about this whole fucking kerfuffle, because it feels like amateur hour. What's happening over there? Okay, this episode is brought to you by us. The people have been asking us for years, when is Red Flags going to live stream the F1 races? Well, guess what, Venkas? The wait is over, because Matt and I are going to be live every single race weekend from now on the Dream 11 app.
That's right. You're going to be seeing our punums right alongside the racing. Getting excited, getting angry, freaking out, speculating on Yuki Tsunoda's future, everything happening right there on the Dream 11 app. You got to download it right now because we're going to be there. We're going to be living on your phone.
If you think that we're animated after the race, guess what? We are like during the race, baby. It's going to be absolutely unhinged. Hot takes coming at you left and right, and the only place to watch it is on the Dream 11 app. So download it now, follow us at the Red Flags, and we will be there for qualifying and the race this weekend in Japan. Be there or be square, people.
You think we're unhinged on Sundays and Mondays? Can you imagine us at like 4 a.m? We're like your sleep paralysis demons. It's going to be insane.
That's right.
Nuts.
That's right. That's right. The Ferrari battles. Come watch the Ferrari battles with your favorite two Vankas. Come watch George Russell and Kimi Antonelli hopefully fight for a championship with your favorite two Vankas. And come watch Aston Martin absolutely stink up the place with your favorite two Vankas. Only on the Dream 11 app. We'll see you this weekend.
Bye, Vankas. Dream 11.
And now, back to the episode. Let's move on. In other news, Max Verstappen has won and then lost A race at the Nürburgring in the NLS series. It was at the Nordschleife, the Nürburgring. He had a dominant victory. He qualified on pole. Hordes and hordes of fans. There were hundreds of thousands of people watching the live stream of this thing, and he qualified on pole. I think he was clear of everyone else in the field by a second. He had over a second of gap. I mean, these are like 7.5 minute long laps, so it was still pretty tight. It's not like a 3.5 minute lap like they are sometimes in F1. It's over double the length and time, but he qualified on pole. He did an opening stint, kept the lead, got passed on the opening lap, actually had a pretty fantastic battle on the opening lap, but ultimately got the place back from this guy, Christopher Haas. No relation to Gene Haas. They are spelled differently. Took the lead from Verstappen at the start. He repassed him about an hour into the 4-hour race. Yeah, so Max had the first and last stint of the 4-hour race. And they cruised to a win. He won by basically a minute. I think it was like 56 seconds or 58 seconds at the end of the day. After qualifying, Max said, quote, "The car feels great. I still need to build more experience with it, but we're in a strong position to attack. With the sun shining, it all feels perfect. Driving on a track like this gives you an incomparable thrill."
It's like you just had a breakup and you're with your new partner. You're like, wow, it's so great to have such a healthy relationship and having so much fun and being with somebody who gives you joy instead of sucks it out. It's like such a shot at his ex.
Yeah. I've never been happier. I'm great. I'm awesome. I've literally never been happier.
Yeah.
Then after he
jump cut, smash cut too.
Yeah. Well, before that, after he won the race, it was hilarious. The guy who was doing the on track post race interviews was literally like pissing himself with excitement about the prospect of talking to Max Verstappen. Right. Talk to Max. Had to throw in is it not like Mario Kart, right? Like, this is better, isn't it? Max said that it was a, quote, super enjoyable race. He said, quote, "It was a really good experience for me. For me, this is one of the craziest tracks in the world in a good way. I've been watching it for very long, and it's one of those races that you just want to compete in." After he said the Mario Kart comment, he made like a little little cheeky look, and then the guy literally barely remembered to talk to the next guy on Max's team, and then forgot to talk to the last guy on Max's team. Literally, started walking away, and then had to double back. And was like, oh, sorry. How was it for you?
He's just like, his soul is already ascended to heaven. It's the rapture for him. It's just over. His life is complete.
That's right.
I quit. He's ready to retire at that point.
Yeah. Also, immediately after, you're so high that you forget where you are, because after our first time that we interviewed Yuki, we were at a Red Bull, thing in the desert in Vegas, and we were like, all right, we're gonna interview Ricardo and Yuki.
For the first time we were ever speaking to Formula One drivers, I think.
First time we were ever speaking to Formula One drivers, and we're at this Red Bull event, and we do the interviews. They both go great. We had that great Yuki clip where he's talking about food that we've posted multiple. We were like, that's millions of views right there. Sometimes you do these interviews, and if they're great, oh, that's gonna just kill. They we're the peasants, and they just okay, I'll throw some chum to you, and we're like,
exactly.
Anyway, we immediately following that, we're so hype.
Oh, and Daniel gave us a few good ones too.
And Daniel gave us great ones too. We asked him about, giving him the American, test, whatever. Quiz. It was just a great, And then immediately after, we're like, yes, let's fucking go.
and our producer now agent. It was mainly me.
You were
me.
You were like, let's fucking go. And then our now agent was like, Matt, just fucking
act like you've been here before.
Act like you belong here in the car, in the fucking car. Anyway, That's what this guy
So
was like.
by the way, so this is our long way of saying is like, we're no better than this man.
No, of course. He was so hype. I mean, the reality of like, some of these guys are professionals, right? Like a lot of, some of the people who drive in this, because there's multiple different series. There's like hundreds of cars on track because they go in different waves. There's like the proper GT3 and then there's like subcategories and whatever. But like on this humongous track, there's like 100+ cars. Not all of these guys are like professionals. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of these guys are pro-ams. Some of these people, like, it's a hobby. They do it, but certainly they don't make a living from it. Certainly they're not, like, professionals on the level anywhere close to Max Verstappen. There are some of these guys, like the guy that he was battling with in the opening lap, who's like a legend of GT3. But, there was a great video that someone posted where it's like a guy in his car. He has, like, a camera on him. And he's just, like, driving, and he's in one of the lower categories. And then he's going along, and then you just hear da 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 da, and then it's Max just like vrooming fucking past him, and he looks at the camera like, hey, like there's Max Verstappen.
I saw one clip of him overtaking. I don't know how many were amateurs and how many were in his category, but he just like he overtook one car and then dove between two. It was so fucking sick. And
the team Redline boys, the team Redline guys were streaming it, and they were like,
"Oh,
Max,
oh
fuck!" Like even they're shocked by what he can do on track.
But dude, it's like you're either in Comic-Con or you're covering Comic-Con, and then like Spider-Man shows up, not Tom Holland,
right?
Literally the
Spider-Man.
real Spider-Man. And you're hanging out with the literal Spider-Man, and he's shooting webs. And you're like, this is so fucking cool that I'm with the real guy.
Right.
And I'm competing with him.
This was it was a parade, but you know what? There was some rain on that parade because 2 hours after the race, the technical commission discovered that MaxVerstappenRacing.com had used 8 sets of tires instead of the 6 allowed during qualifying. Some reported 7, not 8. That I guess during qualifying they used too many tires. They were disqualified from the race. Max Verstappen and MaxVerstappenRacing.com or VerstappenRacing.com team ultimately did not win the race. They were disqualified. So it is a little bit bittersweet. But like at the end of the day, it's like, babies, no one knew that this thing. I mean, people knew that it existed. No one on our side of things knew what this race even was until Max Verstappen, and he won it. Who cares? Who cares about?
Well, how pissed were the people who are interested in the health of the sport, the GT executives or whoever,
of course,
the Liberty medias of the sport were like, oh fuck, god damn it! And then the rules are rules, man. He used 8 sets of time. Fuck.
Right.
But apparently, people are writing it was a technicality. He's still dominated. He's still awesome. Blah, blah, blah. And then, by the way, I don't know a lot about, obviously I don't know shit about GT3, but I'm like, wait a minute. Using extra tires is a fucking huge advantage. Like, if you just have new sets of tires, that's a huge advantage. I asked ChatGPT. Okay. I said, so big caveat. I said, how much are extra sets of tires? Like, how many seconds are we talking about? They were like, 30 seconds, like it's like a second or two a lap. Now, the thing is, these laps are long, right? So it's not like F1 where like 1 second a lap is gonna fucking really add up. So like 10, 15 seconds could be if he does like 8 laps on a new set of tires.
Yeah.
And now I don't know how these tires were allocated, if it was just for qualifying, but like if other guys are using scrub sets, I mean, it definitely gained him time. I don't know if it was, enough time to offset the amount that he won by, but people saying, guys, it's just a dumb.
It was qualifying laps. It was apparently this during qualifying laps. So maybe this pole that he got, they're saying was, not properly earned. If he gained an advantage through using an extra set of tires, I mean, these are the hard, fast rules, baby. It's like, it's a small number.
Right.
You can't.
I mean, how do
no
you
more
how do
than
you fuck
6,
that up?
and they use 7 or 8. Unclear exactly what happened, but a huge fuck up there. Obviously, he was racing a Mercedes car. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing there as to that relationship and what's going to happen in the future with his Formula One future. But Mercedes has come out with some statement, blah 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 blah. It's boring. They're like, it was a a weekend we won't forget anytime soon. Great racing, incredible atmosphere, and initially the joy of victory. The disappointment is all the greater as the behind-the-scenes mistake led to a disqualification, which hurts.
Also, you want to talk about artificial?
Everything must come together. We must now focus on analyzing, learning, and preparing for an upcoming race and the 24-hour highlight.
Also, talk about artificial, right? Artificial racing. I mean, I don't know. I did some research on the GTs last night.
Yeah.
Balance of performance isn't exactly like pure racing either, right?
Right.
Balance of performance is so interesting to me because so you have F1, which is like you've got these regulations, just build whatever the fuck build whatever car you want within these regulations. Then you have spec, where it's like everybody's got the same car, so it's like it's all about just setup, right?
Yeah.
And it's really driver dependent, right? Who has the best driver? Who could set up the car best?
And
Execution, right? Now, what's interesting about balance of performance is it's somewhere in the middle, right? Because you have all these manufacturers converging, so they all build radically different cars. You have a Porsche, you have BMW, you have Ferrari, you have Mercedes, you have Aston Martin. So all these cars are like completely different. They have radically different characteristics. And what they do is they just, wherever you have an advantage, they just kind of spike that advantage. So like Mercedes has a really powerful engine, obviously. So they just they turn that down a little bit, right? Porsche is apparently really good in the corners. So what do? They add a little extra weight. So and then I'm thinking well, what's the fucking point of having all these different cars if you're just going to crash them towards the middle? Now, according to my research, these characteristics still bleed through a little bit. So the Porsche is still going to be a little bit better in the corners. The Mercedes is still going to be a little bit faster on the straights. So you get a combination of Formula One where you get to see different characteristics and IndyCar type where you get to see who's the best racer, who's the best racing team in terms of execution and setup. So you get a little bit of both. It's kind of the best of both worlds. The problem is it's so fucking political because if you're a Mercedes, what you're going to do is you're going to sandbag. You're going to not go as fast on the straights so you don't get nerfed as much, right? Really, it's a lot of, you're really kind of, the whole series revolves around how much the FIA or whoever's in charge nerfs you.
Right.
If they nerf you too much, you're fucked. They don't nerf you enough, you dominate. So that's really where the competition is the nerfing. That sucks.
It just feels like the real, if you were into pure racing, spec is the way to go.
Spec is the way to go.
Spec's the way to go. And but big manufacturers don't like spec. Big business doesn't like spec because they can't put their Audi flair on it. They can't put their Ferrari flair on it. They can't, they don't get to do that. So
because they have real Porsches in the races. They have real Aston Vantages in the races. Now here's the problem. If you take away balance of performance, that's the other flip side. You take away balance of performance, and the Aston Martin is getting fucking dusted every race, no one's going to want to buy that Aston.
Right.
So or if the Porsche gets dusted, no one's going to want to buy the Porsche. So this is the happy medium where every car gets to show off its flair, gets to strut its stuff, and they're all relatively close. So you get the best of both worlds with GT3. But the balance of performance thing is you're putting so much faith in the FIA to be let me turn your engine down 3%.
Right.
Right. That's the weakness of that series. And
it's interesting.
So basically my point is no racing is pure.
Right. Well, other than maybe IndyCar, a spec series can be pure.
Series.
Can be as close to pure as possible. And I think it's I had an interesting reaction to this, which was that I was kind of like, I had a bit of Schadenfreude with one Max Verstappen when this whole thing happened, which was a new feeling for me with regards to him, because I love Max and I've been a Max fan, but something about this whole thing has really rubbed me the wrong way with him. The whole, all the criticisms, all the like. I know he's not saying this, but there is a vibe of like, you know what? Fuck Formula One. He has like a, you know what? Fuck Formula One. Like, who needs it? It's fucking lame. I don't like it here. It's not how I want it. And so, like, I'd rather do other shit, right? I'd rather do, like, this other racing. This is the fun racing. Like, this is, I'm so happy here. Unlike that other, that other fucking bullshit that I have to do. And people care. And he has the ability to make people care about these other races and these other race series that he appreciates that maybe the normal racing fan doesn't appreciate. And that's all well and good. But the reason that exists is because of fucking Formula One. The reason that people care that he's racing in GT3 and he's winning these races and he has a private fucking jet and he can have VerstappenRacing.com and employ his fucking dad is because of Formula One. And listen, we shit on Formula One all day long. I'm not against shitting on your boss, but there just feels like there's a level of, like, I don't know, disrespect. There's a level of disrespect to, like, the thing that did put you here. Like, the reason that you can have the life you have is because of this organization. Well,
you know what it's also, it reminds me of, they don't do this, right? Like, these, The Rock, right? Mm-hmm. John Cena, these guys that have gone from pro wrestling, right? Yep. To just mainstream Hollywood stars. They always go back to wrestling because they have an appreciation for what that's done for them. They've never turned their nose up to, by the way, the most artificial fucking sport there is. We'll talk about fabricated. I mean, it's theater, right?
Sure.
But they're not like, neither The Rock nor John Cena John Cena especially has talked about, like, this gave me everything. Right. I would be nothing without. Right. I'm not saying Max has to go that far, but just like, it's an interesting contrast where, like, John Cena doesn't need to do wrestling. He could have so easily been like, well, I'm a Hollywood star now, but he doesn't. Right. No. He understands where his bread has been buttered, where his true fan base lives. Right. And it has given him the platform to fucking do comedies, to fucking, The Rock is now was in a Safdie movie this year, but he understands where he's come from.
Now they are giving him the benefit of the doubt is that, like, Max is like, I love Formula One and I want it to be the best that it can be, right? That's the, like, I'm telling you this because I love you kind of thing. But I guess it's always felt like whenever, like, now he's said it, right? He's said it out loud. But whenever Max has talked, it always seems like it comes from a place of, like, I am fucking right. Like, and if you don't agree with me, then you are like. Now he's said it explicitly, but when he was shitting on sprint races and when he was shitting on whatever the myriad of things that he shit on over the years, him going against Ben Salam and about, like, what the drivers can and cannot say, all that stuff, like inner fighting, that kind of stuff, I had no issue with. Felt like he was sticking up for the drivers. Then felt like he was sticking
saying
up
what
for,
nobody
like,
had the courage to say.
Right, which I'm, I have no negative feelings about. I love that when he does that, but, like, it's always kind of felt like there's a purity check with him. There's a purity vibe.
My way, yeah.
And I mean, this is what George Russell said in his famous quote. Whenever anything is not going his way, now you could extrapolate that to, like, it's not how I like it to be. Right? Like, I don't like this. He lashes out with unnecessary anger and borderline violence. And he has unleashed unnecessary anger. Well, maybe necessary anger, but, how he's, I don't know. It's just, it's a new feeling for me because I've always been a Max guy, but this whole thing is, like, rubbed me the wrong way.
Here's the question. Are you able to win at that level, be as good as he is, and not be that way?
Yes.
Like, if you look at
Lewis Hamilton.
I guess.
Like
I guess. But
yes,
most
you are.
of them are not that way though.
Sure.
Right? Like Michael Schumacher wasn't that way. Michael Jordan wasn't that way. Kobe wasn't that way. Like more often than not, they're not that way. Like
Right. LeBron's that way. Steph Curry's that way.
right.
Derek Jeter was that way.
Right.
Like it does exist. It's not like
It does
it's not like
exist.
if you. I mean, Tom Brady was that way. Like
Tom Brady?
in terms of
He's a
like
bit of a
talking shit. Now he's more unhinged. But when he was like playing and maybe like behind the scenes he was a bit crazy. But like he was and I don't know because like I don't love like the company men, right? Like I don't love just
Right.
like I'm a company man. But it does feel like there's at a certain point. It feels like you're such an anti-company man that it's like, wait, what? Like this has now gone on too long. Anyway,
I hear what you're saying. It's getting a bit grating.
Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm probably gonna get fucking flamed in the comments for it, but I can't be the only one that kind of feels this way about everything that's been happening with regards to his comments. In other news, speaking of the Red Bull car that is not winning races and maybe is contributing to Max Verstappen's distaste of these new regulations, certainly Gunter thinks so. I think that that's not necessarily out of the question. There are now some reports about what's going on with this Red Bull car, some of the woes, and there's been some internet sleuthing where people have put together that now people are saying that this Red Bull car is 17 kg overweight. People are basically looking at getting zoomed in on what the weights were of the, drivers and the cars post race, and they've put it together what the different weights of the different cars are. And they've calculated that perhaps this Red Bull is significantly overweight, which might be contributing to their woes of being over a second down on qualifying laps from one Max Verstappen. Peter Washe said, "We have some challenges with weight with the car, just like other teams. There's a chance some other teams have it a bit better than us. From our side, we need to make sure that we can slim down the car a bit so that in the future updates, we no longer have to look at making the car potentially lighter and can fully focus on making the car faster." Williams has the same issue. We've heard there's a few cars on the grid, but this is kind of the first. There's been a lot of talk about Williams being overweight, but now this is maybe we can focus on that the Red Bull is overweight, which is why they're struggling so much.
Yeah, I mean, it would also explain like they don't seem to be very good on their tires. Now, if they have the extra weight, that would explain why Max has been cooking his tires more than we remember him saying his tires are dead.
Right.
It seems like they're heavier than the fucking Alpine. Alpine is 20 kgs lighter than the Red Bull. I mean, you could look at this a different way, right? Which is that Red Bull has more gains to make than the Alpine. If you're a Red Bull optimist, which is Red Bull has more gains to make, easy low hanging fruit than the McLaren, than the Alpine, and even the Ferraris. So I would say, so it says according to this report, McLaren is 16 kgs or 17 kgs lighter. Ferrari is 15 and a half kgs, and Alpine is actually 20 kgs lighter. So Alpine is actually the lightest car. So maybe they've actually reached closer to their full potential than anybody else, which is in a way shitty for Alpine, because maybe this is as good as they're going to get compared to some of the other teams.
Yeah, well, and then the question becomes how quickly can they figure this out, and is this 5-week break that we're about to have after Japan, is that enough time for them to figure this out so that we can come to Miami and all the cars have their summer bodies ready for Miami?
Yeah.
Because we're going to Miami, baby, and we're going to be in bikinis in Miami, and we got to hit the gym over these 5 weeks. And I'm going to be trying to slim down just like these cars come Miami Grand Prix weekend, baby. So that'll be interesting to see. I mean, we talked with Gunter, obviously, about who benefits the most from this time off, and it's everyone but Mercedes. Who can make the most gains? Who can develop their car, slim their car down, get their car ready for this next stint most effectively over this break? That really is the question of the next month.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gunther was saying if you're behind, you like this break.
Right.
It's easier. Mercedes would have loved these races to stay on. Keep the momentum up.
Max in 2024, right? First 7 races, he just won almost every single one of those races, right?
Yep. And come Miami,
it all started to turn. So imagine he doesn't have 2 of those 50 points gone for him.
Let's hope. Let's hope that happens. Let's hope that Ferrari picks it up.
Let's also hope. Well, let's hope for a resolution to this war in general. Of course, this is a catastrophe. But let's hope that the Middle Eastern races that happen at the end of the year are not canceled, because hopefully by that time, the Bakus and the Abu Dhabis and the Qatars of the Formula One calendar, let's hope that those are not canceled, because hopefully by that time, someone has developed their car and they're maybe catching up with Mercedes and beating Mercedes in certain races.
Of course.
So that Mercedes actually doesn't get 2 races when they are there's a huge gap, and let's hopefully this gap can shrink and Ferrari can make gains during this break time off. McLaren can make some gains, because Zach Brown has said that he thinks he's saying they're going to be winning races by the end of the year.
You know, if anybody else said that, I would not believe it. But they seem to be growers, McLaren. Yeah. They're late bloomers. So they really nail these late to mid to late season developments.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of faith, and they've got, once they can get their heads around this fucking power unit, I believe it. I definitely believe it. Speaking of, a long break, enjoying yourself on the break.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis is more out in public. He posted a hard eyes emoji on Kim's Instagram.
Yeah, he was also spotted outside of a store where apparently she was shopping. Classic boyfriend move. He was sitting in the proverbial boyfriend chair in Japan. There's a world where maybe
sit outside.
She's in Japan. He was sitting outside waiting for her to shop.
Oh, you think she's gonna show up in the paddock?
She might be in Japan,
dude. If she's in Japan,
yeah.
I've said this before. If Kim Kardashian is in Japan, I don't know. I think we're going to miss a lot of overtakes. I don't think every corner of this track is going to be covered, because all the cameras are going to be crammed into that Ferrari garage.
Yeah.
It's going to be insane. We might even miss the start, Brian.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? And guess what? Guess who's fucking driving well? Lewis fucking Hamilton. Listen, everyone was so mad about this, right? Everyone was just I hate it. But guess what? What you want to see is Lewis Hamilton happy, and what you want to see is Lewis Hamilton winning. And guess what? Both of those things are starting to happen. So ain't broke, don't fix. Okay,
Brian,
ain't broke, don't fix.
Brian, I have to push back a little bit. I just gotta play a little bit of a devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Just a tiny bit of devil's advocate. I just raised, because I love Lewis. Lewis is a friend of the pod.
Of course.
Friend of the pod. At the age that we are, you don't ever want to raise concerns about people's partners. It isolates you, right. but that's the tension, right? When you're 18 years old, 17 years old, your friend brings a girlfriend in. You never has she fucking sucks, dude. She fucking sucks. Lose her, break up with her, and you could say the wildest things. She's not even cute, dude.
Yeah, dude. There's so many fish, dude. You got your whole life ahead of you. There's so many other girls, dude. So many other girls
your
from different
friendships,
schools, dude.
Your friendships were so much more important than and then you knew he wasn't gonna marry her. Right. You know, there was just no your friends outrank girlfriend every
right.
and the older you get, the less that's a thing. But anyway,
Sure.
That caveat aside, what I would say is I raised a little concern about the Kardashian curse. Mm-hmm. And you said, no. Mm-hmm. And what was your example? What did you say? You said Timothée.
That's right. I
just want to check back in. Oh, how we feel about Timothée today. He literally he had it was like he had a 30-second gap. He was I mean, what is the F1 equivalent of blowing that Oscar lead?
It's as if
it's a Lando Norris
Singapore
2024. No, it's Brazil, dude. It's Lando Norris, Brazil. 2024.
Starting on
Michael
pole.
B. Jordan coming in from last. He lost the BAFTAs, right? Starting from the back of the field. Michael B. Jordan, Sinners coming in from the back, fucking winning the whole thing. I mean, is that? I'm not saying listen, Timmy
Kylie
didn't make him say the shit about the ballet. She didn't make him do that. But I'm not saying it's her fault.
She didn't walk the red carpet at the Oscars. She's trying to play it low key.
Right.
But I think that some of the backlash that he got was partly fueled by people not liking that he's with Kylie. Absolutely. I think that people were ready to. I think that what he said was what he said was what he said. I think that part of what happened was that he was overexposed. People were like ready to be mad at him,
right?
And they needed. He
was hitting a lot of threes from half court.
They needed some chum in the water. They needed a big heat check moment, and people were ready for it. And do I think that him being with Kylie was like in feeding the fervor? Absolutely.
Right.
Now, luckily, Lewis Hamilton, in terms of the PR, he's not in a PR business. He's in the stopwatch business.
Right. Right.
So
That's true.
That seemingly, like, he won't be subject to the same fate. He might, even if he gets some type
and he doesn't pop off like Timothée.
Social backlash. Yeah, he's a bit more careful with his words than Timothy.
Didn't used to be, but he's learned. He's learned to be more circumspect.
Anyway, I hope that Lewis doesn't have whatever the Formula One equivalent of those ballet and opera comments happen to him. Let's all pray that doesn't befall the one.
Or let it befall after he secures the 8th.
That's right. Let's see. In other news, Lando Norris got a wax figure at Madame Tussauds. Gotta go see that this summer when I'm in London. Take a pic with the boy. Toto. These pictures of Toto modeling for the Japanese Grand Prix have surfaced. And I gotta say, dude.
What?
He's so hot.
Dude, I look, he's so handsome. He's voguing, he's mogging, he's doing all the shit that he's doing. I just don't think these outfits are like age appropriate for him.
No, they are. He looks like a DJ in Ibiza in a bad way.
Like he's wearing the like Gen Z like big pants.
Yeah.
I just don't. I know. It just doesn't look age appropriate. But he looks good. I'm not saying he looks better than I would look in those.
Well,
clothes.
no. Here's the thing. He looks good because he's like just like tall and handsome, right?
Right.
It's like he's tall and handsome, so like that looks good. But like, no, he looks. It's hello, fellow kids. This is a crazy outfit for an Austrian billionaire in his 50s,
pushing 50. Yeah. No, I think he could have pulled it off in like maybe just a different. I'm not a fashionista, but if he was just wearing a different pair of pants, I think we could have made it work. The jacket is fine. I think the jacket plus the big jacket plus the pants. It's giving hello, fellow kids. But I think he's actually like
But is it better than George Russell?
Yeah.
No, honestly, I think George looks pretty good here.
I think people I think modeling is not as hard as some people think it is, but it's definitely not as easy as some people think it is. It's somewhere in the middle. Because I think in high school, I was forced by someone who I was dating to watch, America's Next Top Model with Tyra.
Yeah.
And you see like these girls will like go and do it, and Tyra would be like, no. And you'd see they would look awkward, right? These beautiful women. It's not so easy. You can't just, and then you'd see Tyra get up. She'd go there. She'd just go, they take 3 pictures of her, and you'd see unbelievable. Like, to know how to stand, to know the angles, to know the pose, like there is a skill to it for sure.
Right.
And
yeah, he's popping his jawline. He's popping that jaw out. George knows how to like get that clavicular.
I think I would struggle with like what to do with my hands for sure. Like there is a little bit what do I do with my hands vibes, I think. This balaclava that they put Kim, I mean, who is buying that? They put Kimmy in a balaclava.
Oh, that's Kimmy.
Yeah, who else would that be?
I thought that was George. I was like, obviously they've put George in the balaclava. Oh, that's Kimmy. Interesting.
No.
This is okay. So here's what's interesting about this. This is a real departure from Mercedes, right? They're like trying to be fashion.
Well, but they're trying to go less corporate, more cool.
Less corporate, more cool, more like new agey fashion streetwear. They're trying
London
to go
underground vibes.
Right. But like, babies, you did it 2 years too late. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, you had Lewis Hamilton. You had Lewis Hamilton for years and you were doing Tommy Hilfiger.
You're doing fucking like cool streetwear now with George Russell? You're trying to
you sign Adidas right after he fucking leaves? Like, what is wrong with you? As my dad used to say, what is wrong with you?
It's a crazy move. They're literally like trying to be like, all right, well, like all of the cool has left the building with Lewis Hamilton. So like now we gotta be cool ourselves. And it's like, no, babies, like just stick
to your strengths.
Stick to the lederhosen. And stick to the skinny jeans and the tight suits. Like this is what you do. This is who you are. Like you're not doing balaclavas.
How do you think Adidas is feeling that Lewis is gone? They're like, God.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
Raw materials, tough, difficult raw materials to be working with over here. Difficult raw materials to be working with. Anyway, that does it for us. Japan is coming up. We are going to be live streaming the race, as you saw earlier in the episode, on Dream 11. People have been asking us for years, when are you guys going to live stream the race? Want to watch the race with you guys? Want to watch the race with you guys? Well, guess what? Now you can with the Dream 11 app. We're going to be live streaming every single qualifying and race, and we're going to be doing another stream later in the week. Every Formula One race weekend, you can watch it with your favorite 2 Vankas. Download the Dream 11 app right now. We will see you there this weekend. We will see you in Japan, Vankas.
Goodbye, Vankas.
Oh, and buy our book.
Buy our book. Link is in bio.
Link is in bio. It's really good. It's really good. We're doing our final edits right now, and I've been reading it, and I'm like, damn, this shit is really good. It's really good.
It's popping off.
But before we go, we got to thank our daddies of the pod. We got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan Texera, Jay Lingle, Spencer Grieve, Javier Mera, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Ali Santana, Carla, Harlow, Kimberly, Huelin, Alonso, My Face 69, Donya Denad, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Kat, Future Dog Tour Dion, Steph Grossi, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hull is my F1 Daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Signs Hate, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella, Mozzarella, I'm a Leclerc fan, and yes, it hurts. Jay Kess, George Russell is evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3, Matt Edwards is always right, I wish I was Max and Danny's love child, Delaney Andrews, Henry Caskey, Miles Lewis Alexander, Maggie B, Kaylee Breyer, Eve the Y, Devin, a.k.a. the future Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Frazier, Fraser, Yuki Tsunoda's other mother. Jenny is the reason I am a daddy. Megan, Aaron, Pineapple the Y. Matt has a secret boner for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, it's Gary. Carolina, my name is AJ, and fuck the HOA. K-Man can fuck smash my door any day. The official F1 race program and its executive editor, Sarah. I got tickled by the Tifosi. Hey, Jet, good luck out there. Allison Sane, Zhuzh, F1 Dude Company, Trent Slickman, Code Brown Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Calapinto is a fraud. Aaron, Shahid, Jeans Roxer, Chohan, Catalick my balls. Stay fierce, Charles Leclerc, Truth Bringer, Mama Burns, Arthur Leclerc is hotter, Car Lost Signs, Opie Goblin, right meow, James, DNCTT, Finney, Daddy, Kev Not Magnuson, Mr. Ed, Bobby, Lando Norris's unofficial girlfriend. Why do I always huck two on this name? Winkin, Lizzie Y, Jafar from afar, Stroll pay the troll toll to get in the boys' hole, Andrew Prisco, Rojo the Bambino, the great Paul Bino, and our newest daddy, Julia Torba Lover. If you want to become a daddy of the week, go to patreon.com/TRFpod, become our benefactor today, and also honorary daddy of the week of the pod this week, every week, one Nicole Piastri. We'll see you next time, Vegas.
Damn, I'm a boss. I'm a red flag heavy hitter.